Trek Chatters, I'm Pit Trekkie, and welcome to another episode of Pittsburgh's Trek Chat. Well, for today's episode, what I'm going to be talking about is pretty much something that I expected was going to be happening soon enough. And in my area, in the Pittsburgh area, within the last week, it finally has happened. So, what are you talking about, you're probably wondering? Well, I'm talking about the latest Playmates Toys Star Trek figures that have become peg warmers on the shelves of retail stores. So I haven't been into Target for a while. I just haven't been there, and so I don't know what the status of any of their figures are. But I tend to go to Walmart a lot because it's just quick and close to my work and very convenient. So obviously for the last year, what I've been noticing on Walmart shelves are the classic Star Trek movie figures, the Admiral Kirk, the Captain Spock, and the Noonien and Singh figures. I also noticed the Starfleet phaser, and I have also noticed this. The classic Star Trek original series Enterprise have been sitting on shelves, not moving in any way, shape, or form. Okay, now I know at the Target stores they had the Discovery figures and they had the Next Generation figures. I managed to get a Data figure, which I have shown in a previous review. I also have the Captain Spock figure. I've had that one probably since right after I got Data back in the fall of last year. But as I've gone to several different Walmarts in my area, these figures have literally just essentially been peg warmers on these shelves. I don't think they've moved at all. As a matter of fact, this is the only Enterprise I think that was on the shelf at the one I got near my home. I'm not going to say what area, but it's some of the local Walmarts around my area. So, and I know this isn't something that has just started happening out of the blue. I know for the last couple months I've seen some people on Facebook, random pictures of these things going on clearance at local Walmarts in their areas. So it's not something that's new, but it's new to my area. Okay, so the reason why I'm doing this video is, first of all, I feel awful about it. You know, there was all this excitement about Playmates Toys getting the license to have new Star Trek figures come back, and then we finally get them, and except for a lot of the local, basically big Star Trek fans and collectors, they just kind of sat there. No one really, the mainstream shoppers don't really seem to care about it. And then you've got them at $12.97 a piece, and then this was $39.95, and then the phaser was what, 25 bucks? So I mean, you got stuff for a 60-year-old show on the shelves. Most young kids aren't going to be interested in wanting to play with this. I guarantee you, nobody went out and said, let's go buy that Star Trek Captain Kirk phaser or the original Enterprise model. I guarantee you it didn't happen unless they were really big. Kids were fans, and they were fans with their parents. So, I knew this was going to happen. I think a lot of the fans knew they were just going to sit there, unfortunately. But this asks the bigger question, what's going to happen with the line moving forward? We already know that the Star Trek Prodigy line is supposed to be coming out sometime this year. Yes, there are kids that really enjoy Star Trek Prodigy, but I haven't really seen Star Trek Prodigy being rebroadcast on Nickelodeon anytime recently. And, I mean, obviously they can go on Paramount Plus and watch it, but I mean, you would think that they would be trying to grow that brand. And to be honest with you, I think Paramount Plus has done, and CBS have done a pretty big disservice to Star Trek Prodigy. I think they should have launched those toys as fast as they possibly could have. I don't know if there were delays or whatever. I can't speak to that. But they should have had that stuff in the stores right from the get-go, so that way kids could actually get that stuff while they were the show was still new and fresh and kids were learning it. And the fact that they never got any Murph plushes out into the stores was completely ridiculous of CBS to do that. I mean, you could have gotten tons and tons of money off of that stuff, especially from the adult fans, really. But, I mean, the kids would have loved that cute stuff. Why do you think Grogu in The Mandalorian is so popular? And he's everywhere for every holiday, basically. Basic toys and then holiday-themed toys and products. You know, so, but anyway, getting back to the whole thing with Playmates Toys, I think that doesn't speak well or bode well for this line that's going to be coming out. Yes, you're going to have your Star Trek fans that are going to buy them for collector items, and some of them may even open them up and put them on a shelf for display. And I know people are really clamoring to get the USS Protostar eventually, which I really want that one too. And I do want the figures, and I am going to get them. but I guarantee you they're going to end up sitting on the shelves as peg warmers for a year as well. And I don't really, I know that they are having some sort of wave 2 of Playmates Toys figures for Star Trek coming out. I saw like a blurred picture of them somewhere online. But if these aren't selling and they're going into clearance bins, are they really going to launch wave 2? I mean, it reminds me of what happened with the Star Trek '09 figures. And with those figures, they were peg warmers as well. And because they sold so poorly, they didn't release a second wave, and then as a result, you couldn't get all the bridge pieces for that damn bridge playset that they built, who had the wonderful marketing campaign of, hey, let's go ahead and sell every individual station with the individual figures so you can get a complete collection. Nobody ever got a complete collection. And it just went into the history of what a big failure that was. So I just think it's a shame. I'm fingers crossed that something positive will happen with this next wave and people will actually enjoy it. I think they need to get some Strange New Worlds figures out. I'd love to see some Picard Season 3 figures as well, but I don't know if anybody's going to be like, hey, Mom and Dad, let's go buy a 7 of 9 or a Raffi action figure. I just don't see it happening. So all we can do is just wait and see what happens. But the good thing about these things going on clearance is I was able to get a couple items. Now, like I said before, back in the fall, I bought Data and I bought Captain Spock, and I bought a phaser prop that Playmates had put out. And I have a couple videos of them back. You can go back through my channel videos and look. But with the prices going down, I was able to get some little collectibles here. So got the Enterprise here, which is usually, what, $39.95. I managed to get it for $27.95. And I managed to get the Admiral Kirk figure and the Khan figure. They were $9.99 a piece. Or, I'm sorry, not $9.99, they're actually $9. Okay, $9 each. So not a bad price for these. And the phaser, I believe, went down to $17.50, something like that. I have the pictures here on for you to see. You can see what the actual prices are. I can't remember them off the top of my head. But I thought it would be fun in this video, since I have these things and I haven't opened them yet. I would really like to actually open these products with you and we can kind of go over them. So again, like I said, the Enterprise, I have not opened it yet. I really like the classic Star Trek box that they have, which is a nice little tie back to the 1995 original Enterprise that Playmates put out. And actually my twin brother still has his. It got a little bit of sun damage on it, but other than that, it looks good and it works quite well. So this one seems to have some more sound effects, which we'll go over in a little bit here. But let's go ahead and open this sucker up. See what we can, if it was worth waiting for the price to come down, or if it was worth the price for everybody who actually bought this at full price. Alright, so I gotta cut the tape here. Alright. Got that opened up. Nice little tray of the Enterprise here, slides right out. Okay. Got our instructions here. Nothing else in the box. Alright. So let's see here what it says. So it needs 3 AAA batteries, which I'm going to have to put on here in a little bit. It says, but it's actually working right now, so I guess don't have to turn anything on or anything. It does have a switcher where it says on, off, or demo. So let's see what we got here. Okay, one of my questions here is answered. You don't have to put the stickers or the decals on it. It's actually on by itself, thankfully, at this point. Because I am the worst person in the world to be putting on decals on models and anything. They get completely screwed up. So I'm glad I don't have to waste my time with that. Got the engines out here. Alright, Enterprise, come on out here. I think I'm getting somewhere here. There we go. The Enterprise out. And they got the plastic Star Trek Delta stand here. Of course, they got the one part here. It's bungeed in, so let me go ahead and cut that off here real quick. Hate these little bungee cords. Alrighty. Okay. So we got the little stand here, put the little plastic tray over here. Obviously with the stand, you just clip it in. Pretty straightforward. I actually missed the old stand that they had with the original ones in the 90s. It was a nice Starfleet Delta, but it was a nice thick plastic stem. I mean, this looks like it could snap in 2 seconds. But that's what we got, so. Alright, let's put this bad boy in here. Okay. There we go. Okay. Pretty nice looking model of the ship, if I do say so myself. It looks like it's supposed to. It looks like it did during the 1st through 3rd season of the original series. Doesn't have those little points on the nacelles like it did in the cage and Where No Man Has Gone Before. Okay, looking pretty good. Fits nice size in the hand. Okay, and then let's see, we got 3 buttons here, so let's see what we got in terms of sounds on button number 1. Okay, got the phaser. And we got the torpedo. See if there's anything else. Nope, phaser, torpedo. Okay, pretty simple for button number 1. Let's see what we got button number 2.
Security alert to all eggs. Arm photon torpedoes. Man battle stations. Photon torpedoes fire. Prepare for warp maneuvers. Security alert to all eggs. Arm photon torpedoes.
Okay, sounds like we have about 6 different sayings on there, so let's go on to number 3. Cool. Not exactly sure what that sound was. Maybe somebody out there can help me. Okay, so about 3 or 4 more different sounds. So what, about 10, maybe 12 different sound effects on the ship? I think it looks pretty good. Let me see, I can't remember if this lights up or not. Let me see, there might be a switch. Ah, it's on demo, so let me see if it lights up when it... Ah, there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Look at that beauty. Nice lit up nacelles. Got the little dome here underneath lit up with the windows lit up. You got the impulse engines lit up. The bridge dome and the surrounding areas lit up the nice windows. So it does a few more little things than the original one did in the 90s. And it's definitely got more sound effects, and it's got actually some dialogue from the original series, which the other one didn't have. So this one's a little bit more advanced, I guess you can say. So it was worth the weight of it to come down to $28. I wouldn't have had any problem buying it for $40 though. It's a really beautiful model. I can't wait to put it in my man cave. Beautiful ship, beautiful ship. Let's see here, and I'm going to put it in the in its slot. Okay, you just clip it in here at the bottom. Set it down. Probably turn it. I guess let me see which way it'd be better. Probably that way. And there you go. Got yourself your ship. Let me see if I can light her back up. There you go. Perfect little Enterprise model for $40, but now you can get it for $27.95. So go ahead and take a look at that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pause the video and I'm going to prep so that we can actually go ahead and review the Admiral, Kirk, and Khan figures. Stay tuned. I'll be right back. Alright, fellow Trek Chatters, we are back. So, I've got the 2 figures that I just bought for $9 a piece at Walmart. So we got the Admiral James T. Kirk and the Khan Noonien Singh. Now, I know that some people have been reporting that there have been some updated ones that have been released in the stores with better paint jobs. Obviously, these 2 aren't the ones that were, because these are the same figures that have been sitting on the shelf for basically the last year. So at this point, that's fine with me. I don't care about that. I'm just glad to have the figure. So we're going to take them one step at a time. We're going to start with Admiral Kirk and then move on to Khan. All right, so let's take Khan out of the way here. Okay, so let's see what we got here with the Captain Kirk figure. Okay, I like the classic box design. Got the Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan 40 years logo, which I think is really classy with that. What do we have here? We got a Type 2 phaser, appropriate for the movie. It looks like from what they had in the motion picture. Let's see here, and we got a Starfleet wrist communicator, okay, which we also definitely saw in the motion picture. captain's logbook, and one of those cheap action bases that they put in there this time as compared to the really nice ones they had back in the day. All right, back on the back here. Let's see here. I just want to make sure. It looks like there are no... well, actually, there is a mess up here. So for the Starfleet action base, it says, stand them up or plug them in a base. Khan is always ready for action. So there you go, Khan. Alrighty. So we'll get him up here in a minute in Captain Kirk's box. Alright, so at least we have the Captain Kirk clip and collect bio correctly on here. And the figures are actually labeled correctly on the back here. Alright, so let's go and get this bad boy open here. Okay. Alright, so now we got to get through a couple of these bungee cords here. You gotta love these stupid little bungee cords. They used to just be nicely in the package, and then you would just pop them out. But not now. Now you gotta have 50 million of these stupid things for people to have to cut off. So let's see here. Okay, one. At least freeze Kirk's legs. See here, I got his waist now, so cut that. Okay. Okay, got his waist, and now we can pop the figure out. Okay. Here we go with the Captain Kirk figure. Looks pretty decent, I think. Yeah, the paint job on the face could definitely be a little bit better, but could be a lot worse. I mean, at least it looks like the uniform looks pretty good. They put a nice little attention to detail in it there. They even have the Admiral star on his uniform there, and the Admiral stripe going down the chest there, so that's really nice. Got the, what, 14, 16-point articulation. Arms move without any problem. The head's in good place. The legs are certainly pliable. All right. So, Kirk's actually... his figure himself isn't too bad. So let's go ahead and let's pop his accessories out. Actually, I'm not going to pop the accessories out. But there you go. You got the wrist communicator, you got the captain's logbook, and you got the phaser. And, of course, you got the stand. It could be a lot worse, the stand, but it's not too bad. At least he keeps them rock hard. Those stands from the ones that they had from Star Trek 09 are absolutely horrendous. And those figures can't stand worth to save their lives. Any little movement can knock them over. But I think the Captain Kirk figure is pretty good. All right. Let's see here. Throw that garbage away here and put my Captain Kirk thing back here. All right, so let's move on to Mr. Khan here. Okay, so going on with Khan's box here. Okay, at least it says Khan and Noonien Singh on it. It says you got a Starfleet phaser there, which makes sense. Bullseye eels, and let's see what else here. The Genesis control box. Now, the one that they had with the 1995 version of Khan actually had like stickers and labels and stuff on it. So I think that's where this figure falls flat. But the detail in this figure, definitely the facial features look a lot more realistic in this one than they did back in the 95 version. And of course they gave him a Star Trek base there. So let's see what it says here on the back. Well, at least it says that Khan is always ready for action when it comes to the Starfleet action base. Alright. And we got the clip and collect bio, which is correct. Again, it's a pretty nice box. It's kind of almost a shame to open it, but you know what? If these go down to $5 or $4 in the future, I'll pick up a couple more of them as collector's items to hang up. But we're going to open Khan up right now. All right. And these, by the way, these are going into my man cave at the house, my Star Trek show place. No better place for it. I mean, I could have them here in my office, but I mean, I want to have these things in my home on my shelves. Okay, so let's get Khan out of these bungee cords. One. Okay, let's see. 1, 2. Okay, I think I got Mr. Khan. He's out. His articulation's really nice. He's really easy. One thing I will say about these figures is they move very loosely and nicely. They're not stiff, and it's not like they're loose because they're aging or they're because they were put together badly. They move very, very nicely and easily. Very nice rendition of Khan here, even down to his pec chest there. They did a good job putting that in. Of course, they had to put that part in with Khan. But a very nice figure, very nice details. Looks very much like he did in Star Trek 2. They got the costume correct. Put him here with Captain Kirk. See if I can get him to stand on his own. Maybe that is a little bit of a weakness of him, is these figures, is maybe they don't necessarily stand on their own like they could. But, okay, there we go. We got him. All right, so he's right there. Let's put him on his stand, make it easier for him to stand. All right. Okay, got Khan there with Kirk. They're actually meeting next to each other, face to face, unlike in the movie. All right, and then, of course, we got the SETI eels. They even have the tongs for it, but they didn't mention them on the box, the phaser, and the Genesis console. So, perfect. At least that's a good thing that Playmates has done, is they kept the accessories, and they look really, really good. So, overall, what do you guys think? I think that Kirk and Khan turned out pretty well, all things considered. Alright, just let me know what you think. Well, fellow Trek chatters, that pretty much does it for my review of the Star Trek 2 action figures, and then of the original Enterprise model as well. So, from Playmates Toys that were released about a year ago. So, I'd like your thoughts about what was discussed in this episode. What do you think of the Enterprise model that Playmates just put out, and what do you think of these action figures? Feel free to go back in my channel and rewatch the episodes. It was about 10 or so episodes ago where I opened up Data, and I opened up Captain Spock, and I opened up the Starfleet phaser. Look at those and see if you're interested, and leave some feedback on those as well. But let me know what you think of these items. What do you think about these items, unfortunately, now going into the clearance bins at Walmart with all the clearance tags? I know, kind of, as a fan of Star Trek, as fans of Star Trek, I should say, I'm sure to some degree it hits us here because we love Star Trek and it's something that we want to see succeed. And when you see him warming the pegs and then they're not being sold and then they go down into clearance, it feels like they're failing again, and it almost makes it feel like Star Trek's failing again. But it's not. Star Trek's doing pretty well right now. We got Strange New World Season 2 coming out this week, and Star Trek Picard Season 3 continues to get numerous praises and accolades for how good it was, for the storytelling and the effects and just the nostalgia factor. So Star Trek's still up and strong and going, but I would still love to see the products and the merchandise succeed. Feel free to leave your comments down below in the comments section. If you want to watch other episodes here on Pittsburgh's Trek Chat, just type in Pittsburgh's Trek Chat in the search engine on YouTube. It'll take you directly to my channel. You can also follow the show on Facebook, facebook.com/Pittsburgh's Trek Chat. You can also follow the show on Twitter at PGH Trek Chat. Looking forward to the next episode. Until then, may yins live long and prosper.